So you're looking for love?
Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Keegan and Cary's Movie Swap. I'm Cary Edwards, and I'm joined as ever by...
Keegan Cartwright. Here we are, once again, movie swapping like we always do.
We are movie swapping. For those who are uninitiated to this madness, basically we choose a movie the other person's not seen or hasn't seen it for a long time, or maybe we want to change their mind about that movie, and we make them watch it. And then we lock the door and we make us talk about it for 20 minutes or whatever. Today we have two films, one of which is a rebellious classic, postmodern interpretation, examination of manufactured fame, influenced Quentin Tarantino, I'll come back to. And the other is Spiceworld the movie.
Best film ever.
Spiceworld was your choice.
Yes, it was.
We will come to Spiceworld, as I suppose all things must. But we're going to start off with a movie that I really, really like. And I'll try and explain why I really like it. And it's called Head. It stars the Monkees. It's from 1968. It's directed by Bob Rafelson, who would go on to do... Five Easy Pieces and lots of other things, a really important director.
And co-written by one Jack Nicholson.
It is co-written by Jack Nicholson, not that you'd know. And I'm going to try and... It has no plot.
How do you sum up this movie?
How do you sum up... Well, that's why I like it.
I remember sitting there watching that going, where are the Monkees? Because I watched Spiceworld before this, and I went, where are the Monkees?
It is a very odd movie.
There's no structure, it's plotless, and it feels like a series of scenes.
It is, but deliberately so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll try and explain for the kids out there who don't know who the Monkees were. In the mid-'60s, Bob Rafelson and a guy called Bert Schneider had the great idea of going to watch A Hard Day's Night. And then they had the great idea of making a TV show about a band. And so they put a band together. They called them the Monkees. They misspelt the name because Beatles
It's
is...
quirky, it's cool, it
that's
stands
the way
out.
the Beatles is spelled, although that's a pun and this isn't. And they find four guys. They put them together for 2 seasons of a really, really successful TV show, particularly the first season. Their music became really successful. And then 2 years into this, they decided to make a film that blows the whole concept out of the water, deconstructs it.
I was thinking like Batman 66 was this, like it was that popular that they just made a movie. And
Yeah, absolutely. But in Batman 66, the movie is a longer version of an episode.
It pretty much is, and that was made at the tail end of the first season when it was really popular. It is. I do like it.
It is fabulous.
Although I do prefer the animated movies.
Whereas this takes the concept of the Monkees, acknowledges that they're manufactured, and then kind of rips into the whole idea of fame.
No, that I do like. I like the opening song or the second opening song. After you get the mermaids, you go.
Oh, I see. That's my favourite. Song. That's my favourite.
We're a manufactured band. They open it up.
The
and
lyric
go like,
is,
"That's what we are."
We have a manufactured image with no philosophies, and so the Monkees they got into trouble after their first season when they were famous for not playing their own instruments. They could play their own instruments, but a lot of it was done by session musicians. Actually, that was quite normal at the time, but nobody talked about it. With the Monkees, it kind of got exposed, and there was this idea that they were manufactured and talentless, which is not fair. They wrote quite a lot of their own music. They sang their own music, and on the sort of later albums, they did. They played. The first album they didn't. The TV show, immensely successful. Very Hard Day's Nighty, the TV show.
Very sitcom-y. I watched that before my second viewing of this, and I was like, not stoked, but more such a stark contrast to what the film and the show is. Because it's a sitcom, it's got a theme, you know who the characters are. Because one of the problems I have with this film is I can't even tell you which Monkees who.
It does assume that you know a lot about the Monkees.
I don't even know who is who apart from Davy Jones.
Grew up in the 80s, and the Monkees TV show was just repeated a lot. So... You go into this movie knowing who the Monkees are and having a sort of affection for them. This becomes really interesting. The TV show was, kind of sitcom-y, but riffs on A Hard Day's Night, but it's the adventures of the Monkees. It's actually quite an innovative TV show with its use of jump cutting and other editing techniques, and it's postmodernism, it's breaking the fourth wall. It acknowledged it was a TV show. It was absurd, and it was quite an innovative thing. Then they come to make a movie, and the easy thing to make a movie would be to make a big
transition
episode.
that sitcom into like a big
That's
episode.
What everybody
like
expected.
Rising Damp did it. Porridge did it. You know.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that.
Dad's Army. There was a template after this. Well, of course,
they didn't. They got the Monkees, Jack Nicholson, Bob Rafelson, the director in a room. drugs may have been consumed.
I feel like they must have been consumed.
They were definitely consumed.
Definitely
it's on record as having been consumed. And they went away and came up with this weird circular narrative movie where scenes transition in ways that make no like. People will go through a door and go into a different location.
There'll be mermaids, and then before you know it, a groupie's getting on with all the monkeys, going like, "You taste good, you taste good."
On a set that I think was in the TV set, but then they break out of that. There's a scene set in the desert with Italian soldiers.
The weirdest Coca-Cola ride I've ever seen in my time.
When they blow up the Coca-Cola vending machine, I laughed out loud. It's brilliant. There's a scene set inside a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I love that. No, I love the scene before it when they're in the hair and then the vacuum cleaner
they're playing dandruff in their hair.
That's my annoying thing with this movie. There's so much moments of boredom in this, but then you get moments like that where I'm like, this is cool. And the set when they go into the hair, that's cool.
But immensely difficult to talk about, but it feels there is no plot, though.
Yeah, but it's 85 minutes long, and it felt like a slog to get through a point.
See, I didn't think that at all. One, because I like the music. Monkees wrote some of it. Goffin and King, that's Carole King,
Carole King.
Yeah, Carole King, Tapestry. Carole King co-wrote Porpoise Song, the one that's at the beginning, the end with the mermaids and stuff. There is some sort of concession to it being a musical movie. There are some performances.
There's Tony
and they're
Basil.
shot really well. Yeah. Very early music video feel.
Yeah, so like the Davy Jones Tony Basil dance was really cool. It was cool seeing
the
Easy Rider.
So Davy Jones, who was the British member of the Monkees, recruited because it was the 60s and he was British and he had a Beatles haircut. and he could sing and act and stuff. That's a really odd, interesting sequence where he sings Daddy's song, which made me think of Austin Powers. And
Daddy wasn't there.
Daddy wasn't there.
To take me to the fair.
But it's edited between two different locations and sort of two different reverse black and white sets and costumes, and it cuts rapidly, really rapidly between them. And it's sort of like, this is awesome and weird and different. It also has scenes that are poking fun at old Hollywood.
There's a big scene where they're on a set and they punch a woman, but it turns out it's a guy. It's a man. And
again, I do think like Mike Myers has watched Head a lot, just so he can go, oh yeah, I'll steal some of those ideas. That's a funny scene. There's random scenes where two of the Monkees are in a Western film, and then one of them storms off the set and rips through the backdrop.
Oh, yeah, just to reveal
protesting about the cliches, and this is all rubbish.
It's a movie I remember like being very blatant subtle, because like there's a football player that pops up and went, why is the reason this football popped up in this
movie? Pops up in a sort of World War II scene.
I know why. It's so they can get that football helmet, so the Monkees can put it on themselves and then get the football helmet and put it on another person.
It has this weird, bizarre dream logic running through it. There's sequences where you're suddenly in a gothic castle, and you have 50s star Victor Mature, who was known for sort of like epics, and I think he played Doc Hollywood once, as a sort of weird bad guy who was sometimes a giant, which is fab. But you didn't get on with it.
No. It was the second viewing softened it a little bit. I gave this a 1 initially, and then I bumped it up to a 1.5 because there is moments of like where I laughed. That was a cool bit of set design. I like some of the songs. I only knew Daydream Believer before this, guys.
Oh yeah, the Monkees back catalogue is actually pretty solid. There's some good stuff.
It was just such a slog to get through, and I kind of find stuff to grasp onto, like characters and all that. And I just went, who are the Monkees?
There's no characters in this.
Who are the Monkees? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the Monkees... okay, here's a memory test. Davy Jones, Mike Naismith, Mickey Dolenz, and Peter Tork. Peter Tork was sort of the drummer. Was he the drummer or whatever? No, Mickey Dolenz was the drummer. You see, I'm getting confused.
I was thinking like...
Mickey Dolenz has the fuzzy hair. Peter Tork is the one who's supposed to be stupid, and they make fun of that at one point. And Mike Naismith wears a beanie hat and is kind of miserable, and he's from Texas. And the personalities are somewhat, in the TV show, somewhat linked to the Beatles. You know, the idea that there was a sadder one, a sarcastic one,
the
serious one.
Like the Ninja Turtles, but we'll get to that in the next episode. It's just the archetypes. Like, he's the cute one, he's the funny one, he's the ditzy one.
Yeah, but then this movie plays on that and has scenes where Peter Tork comments on his manufactured identity as being sort of the dim one or the simple one. And that's why I think the movie's interesting, because it's a constant interplay between what the Beatles are supposed to be, what they might actually be, and cinema itself. Most of the film takes place on the backlot at the studio.
Yeah, like Moonwalker. I'm just thinking of a section of That's another film I thought this was like.
This is better than Moonwalker. And it doesn't have the weirdness of I need to help the children.
I need to help the children. Joe Pesci's gonna give them more drugs.
I mean, there's some weird kissing and stuff in this movie, but nothing in the realms of Michael Jackson. Thank God. It's a very new wave sort of movie, and in the sense of new wave Hollywood, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But also the French New Wave and the idea that movies don't need plots, they don't really need characters. We can make it up as we go along. There was improvisation.
And that happened with Easy Rider. And
let's talk about Easy Rider briefly, because the guys who made this used the money they made from the Monkees TV show to make Easy Rider. The Monkees, as a band, are directly responsible, arguably, for starting the new wave of Hollywood in 1968-69 with Easy Rider, and for kicking that in. Do you know why the film's called Head?
Because I think Bob talked about how if we made another movie, we can put it as a tagline from the studio that gave you Head.
That's exactly what they were going to do. On Easy Rider, they were going to say, from the producers who gave you Head. But then this film was a huge, massive flop, so they didn't use it in the end. There's no reason for it to be called Head, other than, hey, that's funny.
I honestly put that in my titles. I went, why is Cary Edwards torturing me? And why is this film called Head?
Why is this film called Head? There's no reason. It was very poorly advertised. They didn't really... The initial adverts, they didn't mention the Monkees, which seemed an odd decision.
A most extraordinary horror adventure, Western comedy, love story, mystery, satire ever made.
But it's unadvertisable, this movie, because it's so bizarre and so trippy and so dreamy. It's such a 60s movie. This is like a film that you could only make in the 60s.
Pretty much all the trailers were pretty much the opening at the beginning, and I went... probably the best way you could open it.
Yeah, and the way it starts, it's a good few minutes before the Monkees turn up.
It's 15 minutes before we get an actual performance from it.
Before they really do anything, I
was really annoyed at that.
What's not to like?
I know, I was sat there going like, this breaks all the conventions that I want from a movie. Like,
that's
the
to
grasp onto, and it pissed me off. It generally did.
I think if you're interested in that, and that sort of, like I say, using the word postmodern, but self-reflective cinema, this is why it's an interesting film. But in terms of, the standards ideas of how a film should work, no, it doesn't do those things. It deliberately doesn't do those things. It destroys those things. It's anti those things. And as a statement sort of against manufactured cinema and the traditional way of making sort of an Elvis movie, today I'm a boxer for some reason. Kid Galahad, Elvis is a boxer, and then he's a race driver, and then whatever, in a different movie. This is sort of like acknowledging that the Monkees are just a product. And that's well ahead of its time, which will link very nicely to Spiceworld, I think. It also has my favourite line, boys don't never make fun of no cripple, which I thought was a great line. And this was this is a very important movie for Quentin Tarantino.
Why is that?
Why is that? Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you said why
I was
is that.
trying to find something like that, but I was like, tell me more.
Well, it's not the movie itself, although he does love it. He thinks it's in the top 5 movies of 1968.
I found like a YouTube video and it was like, he talks about Head. I went, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He just lists it. He puts it in there.
Yeah.
But it's to do with the soundtrack. And the soundtrack is really highly rated because if you listen to the Head soundtrack, edited by Jack Nicholson, put together by Jack Nicholson, he takes snippets of dialogue from Head and places them in between the tracks.
Oh, between tracks. I thought it was during the tracks because Flash Gordon does that.
No, he does it. This is the first soundtrack that has the music and dialogue in it. And some of us who were around in like the early 90s listening to the Pulp Fiction soundtrack
Reservoir Dogs does that.
Yeah, what a genius Tarantino is. How did he come up with this idea to put his cool dialogue on his soundtrack? And the answer is Head. The answer is often Head. And that is, this is, it was a huge box office bomb and it was very badly released and nobody knew what to do with it. And this is the short version. It was cut.
Thankfully.
It had 20 minutes, I think, cut out of it. So God knows what was in those 20 minutes.
This killed my insomniac cure. It did because I was like...
Oh, that's good. At least it's had... And I would say it is at least 100 times better than Spiceworld.
Well, good. More power to you because Spiceworld gave me a lot of girl power. It's a wonderful, bad good film. Yes, it did. It did actually.
Please, we've said a lot. Head has no plot, and this is true. It has jokes, and it has humour, and it has musical numbers, and it has weirdness, and it has the Monkees, and it has Frank Zappa
It's got Terry Garr as well.
It does have Terry Garr in I think her first role or one of her first
I was like, I
roles.
had to Google her because I know Terry Garr when she was older in Young Frankenstein. But I was like, where is she in this?
She is very briefly in it, and there's other people you like. I know you from somewhere. Spiceworld is full of people you know from other things, usually better things.
Yes. Think like Richard E. Grant, who every time I looked at him went, "You did Hudson Hawk, and you berated."
I watched Hudson Hawk the other day. Let's move on.
I like Hudson Hawk.
Yeah,
I know Richard O'Brien as well.
Richard O'Brien, Barry Humphries,
Bob Hoskins,
very briefly.
Hugh Laurie.
Yes, Hugh Laurie, who actually is in a scene where he plays Poirot, and I'm like, why has nobody done this?
He's quite good actually in that one scene. But regardless of Spiceworld, I'll introduce you all to Spiceworld. So
please.
Spiceworld is about the manufacture group Spice Girls.
Let's see what we did here.
Baby, scary, sporty, ginger, and posh. And they're all about getting into the gig at the Albert Hall. And that's the movie.
That is the movie, and it's the plot of A Hard Day's Night.
And it's more fun than Hard Day's Night. Sorry, Dan and everyone.
It isn't.
It isn't. We need to examine.
It's not as much fun as Head, and neither of these films is as good as Hard Day's Night, which is a really influential movie. It didn't make me laugh.
When did you laugh? I wondered.
I laughed at Michael Barrymore only because he's a disgraced TV show host.
Yes.
And I also laughed about the fact that they had to cut out Gary Glitter. Because that would have been awkward, but they still have Michael Barrymore in there.
And there's an awkward Prince Harry thing there, but don't worry, he was a kid then. There's some awkwardness in this.
I did laugh when they kidnapped 2 children and nearly drowned them.
I did. I laughed at that. I laughed at that because it's these girls, so they got this gig they've got to do, and they're thinking, let's take these 2 girls out for a thing. And then you've got the documentary crew, led by Alan Cumming, guys.
Yes.
And they're just being irresponsible. They act more like petulant little girls than...
They are so annoying.
No.
They are deeply annoying people. And everything about them is... whatever you think about the Monkees, I think they perform pretty well. They had the experience of the TV show. Yeah. There's a naturalism and they're used to performing. The Spice Girls look like they have never spoken to a human being before, ever. And so when they try and act, it was just like... And somewhere in my notes I wrote down, Posh is marching in high heels. Is this supposed to be funny?
It was to me, because it plays on the archetypes, because she's posh and she likes dressing up and all that. I don't know.
She's not that posh.
No, she's not. But that's the persona we're going with. It's like, baby, I'm cute and all that, and can cheat people with a smile. She saves the day ultimately with her smile to get into Albert Hall.
Yeah, and they raced in their Union Jack bus to get to
which
the
is
Albert
like the
Hall.
TARDIS inside, and they got.
What I found really weird about it, and you can't say this of Head. Head has several performances by the Monkees, and they really highlight the music. Mm-hmm. I was sort of like surprised by how little performance there is in Spiceworld. There's actually not that much of the music, really, in its own way.
I mean, they're all...
It's on the soundtrack, but
they're trying all of that. They weirdly play 2 Become One instrumentally, and that's so odd, because it's the only song in the track when they do that. Yeah. And there's a lot of pre-rehearsals. There's a lot of cutaway jokes. There's one where they imagine themselves as being mums and Mama's playing in the background.
There is a very interesting...
Bruce and Demi, go on, shut up.
Not anti-maternal theme. There's a very interesting theme about single motherhood. Yes. They have a friend, not a real friend. They have a... What's her name? I don't even know who she is.
I forgot what her name is.
Well, anyway,
but she's only there to get some dramatic stakes in.
There's this friend who was there at the start, but I guess she can't sing. I mean, it doesn't stop the rest of them. But I guess she can't sing, and so she's not part of the band. And her whole role is to get left by her boyfriend while she's up the duff, so she can have a baby at a critical point.
The always lost moment,
and also, look, people can do what they like, but do not take a heavily pregnant woman, 9 months pregnant, to a gay club, a gay fetish club. It looked like this is for kids. This movie, by the way, a gay fetish club in the middle of London, and expect it all to be okay.
Yeah, well, they're going like, we're performing tomorrow, but let's go out tonight. What about you? Yeah,
which is very much A Hard Day's Night. Is we're bored of the routine. Let's go out and have some fun, and it is modelled on that. I think this film makes way more sense when you realise that the director, you mentioned Porridge before, the director was behind basically sitcoms.
Yeah, he's involved in sitcoms. You've got Paul Hardcastle, who wrote the classic song 19. No, 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 19.
Yeah.
You've got an editor. Like, let me look.
It feels very TV.
You've got Kim Fuller, who's the sister of the manager, Simon Fuller.
Yeah,
who
she wrote
managed
it. Yeah.
S Club 7, Kathy Dennis.
So
yes,
basically, he grabbed the nearest woman and said, "You can write me.
you can write
movie.
this. You can write woman. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you do that.
I love the bullshit origin of the Spice Girls in the cafe.
Clive,
It's just
who
amazing.
did Split Second, Hidden Agenda, Flying into School,
That's some good stuff.
and Loch Ness. What a weird cinematographer.
That is a weird cinematography.
Yeah.
Whereas Head was directed by a guy who went on to, win Oscars and be, revolutionise cinema. Spiceworld, it's directed by a man who was famous for showcasing Mrs. Slocum's pussy. Look it up. You don't know what I'm talking about. Look it up.
Also, Are You Being Served was also a movie, guys.
Yes,
Back to the day.
was. Actually, I think they got two movies. The British 70s cinema is basically James Bond sex comedies or adaptations of British sitcoms.
Yes.
That's basically it. It's not a great decade for British cinema. Get Carter is terrific, but that's about it. Look, I know Head is sort of disconnected and dreamlike, but the whole thing is, so that's coherent. Whereas this movie, things just sort of randomly happen, like aliens turn up.
Oh no, I love that so much because they're going out in the toilet and like we're getting Meatloaf here. Meatloaf is in this, guys. And
Meatloaf
so
is in this.
I could do anything for these girls, but I won't do that.
Yeah,
and aliens
God
pop
damn
up
it.
and they understand.
What genius wrote that shit?
And they understand their lingo because you got Mel C going, is that 2 or 3 Ks? It's, but I love the absurdity and like quirkiness of this. My bias of this is the guilty pleasure. There's a term called guilty pleasure, guys.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And that's
you
what
should
Spice
be
Girls.
guilty.
I know. I'm guilty as charged.
You are.
As Dewey Cox said.
You should be. You are. Oh man. I'm trying to think of anything I liked about it. It
We
ended.
got Roger Moore.
Also, we'll talk about Roger in a sec. But can I draw attention that when did Spiceworld come out?
1997.
Right.
Christmas
So we understood 1997. We understood racism. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We knew.
I think we did. Yes.
So
we did.
I'm going to read you a lyric from Spice Up Your Life.
Yellow Man in Timbuktu.
Yellow Man in Timbuktu.
Yes, I knew you'd say that. They recently censored that on like radio airings. It's like,
it's like, I mean, it's a little crass, ladies. I don't know if did they ever write any of their own stuff?
No, I don't think they ever did. But you got Mel C who could sing. You got Emma Bunton who had kind of a like decent voice.
Yeah, Mel C actually, to be fair, is a
and
pretty
acting
decent
wise,
voice.
some of them did decently. Like Jerry Halliwell went on to appear in Crank 2, High Voltage.
Was she in Crank 2?
Yes, she was, because she's Crank's mum in a flashback.
Oh god,
it's a weird film. That is. We should cover it. At some
Crank.
point.
Both Cranks are excellent. Crank 2 is not as good, but weirder, which is interesting. Look, we've got 2 movies about manufactured bands. In a sense, Spiceworld is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever I think of it, and clearly not a lot, it's not for me. It's for 14-year-old girls in the 90s, which clearly you're your spirit animal or something. And in a sense, it did exactly what it should do. It showcased them. They were absolutely the characters that they're supposed to be. They have hijinks, and they have a successful concert at the end because everything always works out. And I was really surprised that we only saw one song from the concert. I was thinking back to A Hard Day's Night. You get a good 10, 15, 20 minutes of them performing, and it's really cool. Whereas this, it's almost like we don't show them performing. We don't show the audience enjoying the music.
They thought we realised we need to spend more time with the agent pitching ideas like Spice Force 5. I think they ripped that off from Fox Force 5.
Yeah. Do you think there is a little postmodern thing where the guy? So there's this film producer, and he's got a writer pitching a movie within the movie, and then he ends up pitching the movie that they're in.
Which is so.
And
meta.
actually, I did laugh at the bus jump over the Tower Bridge.
Oh yeah, because it goes really low budget. And you got Norm from Cheers, like just going, yeah, but we'll do it cheaply.
Yes, Norm from Cheers is also in this.
We've got Richard Bryce and Bob Hoskins as well. Tell me this, Cary. What connects Bob Hoskins and Richard Bryce?
They're in Spiceworld, the movie.
They played Smee.
Oh, did they? Not at the same time though.
No, they didn't.
One was in Hook and
Peter Pan, the 2003 film.
Really?
Who also has a connection to probably one of our next episodes, but I'll mention that.
Oh, well, we'll come back to that. I don't know, man. I mean, I watched it. It was short. I like that about it. So I look at the Spice Girls music's all right. It's exactly what it is. It is exactly, but they are exactly a manufactured image with no philosophies. I know that feminism, girl power. There's no depth to that. This is not Bell Hooks here. This is not Jermaine Greer. This is just late 90s third wave shallow lipstick feminism that means nothing.
I was trying to find one of Roger's quotes because, as I mentioned before, Roger is in this film. It opens like Bond, and he comes up with all these crazy, quirky,
They're quite good fun.
And I love those.
He filmed it all in one day.
One day, yeah, pretty much, and he pretty much plays it like a Bond villain, and he's just love you, Roger.
We do love Roger.
Love him,
and it's one of his later performances because he wasn't in much after this, was he?
Pretty much. He was in a pilot of The Saints. You know.
Yes.
He was in an episode of Alias.
Is this after or before Van Damme's The Quest? I think this is after.
After The Quest.
Yeah, he plays Lord Edgar Dobbs.
But he's so good in this.
Wears a kilt in that. He has good costumes, and he holds a variety of small animals, which I kind of liked.
Feeds them on all that, and he gets to dance as well because this is a 90s movie, and every cast member in this has got to dance.
Yeah, because we're having so much fun.
And also the trailer for this is fun as well because they play up the fact that Roger Moore's in this, and they go, in a world, only one man can save us, but that man's busy, so we're going to get the Spice Girls instead.
Yeah. It did quite well, didn't it? I mean, Head was a box office disaster. Spiceworld did all right.
About 50, but then video rentals came in, and pretty much all the girls going like, yeah, 50. It sucks, guys, but I watched it on tape several times. Blockbuster happened, you know.
Yeah, and I can imagine that and you know they sold dolls. I mean, the Spice Girls. It's difficult to think because bands, don't really break in the way that they did then. And same with the Monkees as well. Monkees were briefly as big as the Beatles. The Spice Girls were absolutely huge. It's a complete world of sort of hysteria that I don't think we really do anymore because of the way that the media landscape has broken up and sort of got chopped into chunks. Nobody's watching the same stuff.
No.
So, I mean, it was a phenomenon.
Yeah, back in the day, when we only had like 2 or 3 or 4 channels, which European Vacation wonderfully makes fun of.
We had 5 channels. In fact, the Spice Girls were at the launch of the 5th.
And all the channels were all about cheese. In European Vacation, that's the joke. Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah, well. Richard O'Brien as well, which probably did better. He was in Dungeons and Dragons, the movie, guys.
He was quite good in this, actually.
I know. I forgot he was in this, and he ends up carrying more cameras than Dennis Hopper does in Apocalypse Now.
Dennis Hopper, we're back with the Easy Rider. Easy Rider's not a good film. I'm just going to say that.
No, I don't like Easy Rider.
It's an important film. It's not a good film.
Oddly,
both these movies are really difficult to get hold of.
They are.
And we had to fake the Monkees DVD.
I bought a copy from eBay, guys, for 12 quid. And I was like, okay, cool. Bought the copy, and it was in full screen, which means you could watch it like you
it is
it on
pan
tape.
And scan. It's pan and scan. For those who don't know, when movies used to get shown on TV, they didn't do widescreen. We didn't have our TVs were squarer, so they would basically scan the movie in, but move where the scan was, depending on how the people thought the important thing is. So
yeah, they would do that with conversations. I mean, Leonard Nimoy, I remember talking about pan scan.
Absolutely, completely. It can ruin a movie.
Because
or chop loads of the movie.
They'll be talking, and you'll have like a character like if they're in a car like Sharky or Felix, you would have to cut like every time or move the camera artificially every time someone talked.
As Spiceworld was directed by a sitcom director, and it feels like it. I think pan and scan is the right format for this movie.
I thought like, damn, that's going to affect the movie. I went, no, it doesn't really, because it's by a sitcom guy who doesn't really have a flair for like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's incompetent. It feels a bit flat and a bit small, and
like anyone could have made this really.
Yes, well, I don't think anybody could have made Head. Head took a certain type of person on a certain amount of drugs to make Head. I love Head. It's brilliant. But you do have to like the Monkees, and you do have to kind of get into the Monkees, and I think if you're coming at it from that point of view, Head does make sense, but it is mad. Whereas Spiceworld the movie is everything that probably a 1968 audience wanted Head to be, a kind of quirky adventure film, and it isn't.
I just imagine you watching this and going like, "Why did you?"
I watched them back to back, and I hadn't seen Head in a long time. I was like, "This is awesome. Why am I not watching this more often?" Then I watched Spiceworld, and then I cried.
Well, I watched Spiceworld, and I just think all of humanities rejoice when I hear Bob Hoskins with Jerry Halliwell's voice going, "Girl power, respect the sexes."
Yeah, absolutely.
In the trailer, he's not even dubbed at all.
It was. Oh, is he not?
No, he's not dubbed in the trailer. No, it's just Bob Hoskins' normal voice.
It's just Bob Hoskins because Bob Hoskins is great.
He's cool. I love him.
So put him in a movie for 3 seconds and no goddamn reason.
I have a theory. he changed he's Jerry Halliwell pretending to be Bob Hoskins. That's why he probably did Son of the Mask.
Do you think?
Although,
has he in Son of the Mask?
He's Odin, and then Loki's played by Alan Cumming.
He is played by Alan Cumming. Well, he needed the money. My favourite Bob Hoskins story, this getting distracted, but I want to stop talking about Spiceworld, the movie, is The Untouchables. He wasn't in The Untouchables. He was supposed to be in The Untouchables. He
would have been
great. They couldn't get Bob De Niro, so they got Bob Hoskins. Then Bob De Niro became free, and Bob Hoskins was bumped. And one day he's at home, and he gets a check and a letter from Brian De Palma. It's a couple of $100,000, and so he picks up the phone and he phones Brian De Palma, director of The Untouchables, and says, "Brian, anytime you don't want me to be in a movie for you, mate, I'm there." He was great, and he was also completely drunk all the way through the Super Mario movie. Which
then you get like John Leguizamo going like, "Yeah, we had a fun time making this." Went, "No, you, Dennis Hopper, and all that hated it." But that's a fun bad movie for
Dennis
another
Hopper
time.
That
and Fisher Stevens,
and Fisher, not with an Indian accent, which is probably a good idea. I'm not convinced.
What are we recommending these films? Well, you're recommending Head.
Look, if you want a weird, wild time, you like the Monkees, you like the '60s. Then yes, sure. And I think it's well shot, and I think that it's got some interesting ideas, and some of the ideas perhaps don't work, but it's trying to do interesting things and create something unique and different. Whereas, why would you watch the Spice Girls other than being a 14-year-old girl in the 90s?
So bad it's good, mate. So bad it's good.
It is bad. That. I agree, it's bad.
No, I love it, though. So bad it's good. Peace out. Yes.
Peace
Get
out.
in.
That is the final word. Thank you very much. Thank you, as always, to Dan and Ross for being behind the scenes and sorting all these things. We'll be back, no doubt, soon with, I don't know, God knows what, something. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in.
Toodaloo, guys.